What's going on, everybody? Welcome into a fresh hour of CBS Sports HQ. I'm Jacqueline D'Agostino. We are already looking ahead to week 2 of the NFL. It all kicks off with the Commanders and the Packers. A familiar foe for the new #1 Green Bay Packer in Micah Parsons here. And we're already seeing a handful of NFL headlines come down as we're looking ahead for week 2. And Micah Parsons' former team, they're in the pass rush market, you don't say. We're hearing reports that they're working out Jadeveon Clowney. So we'll see what happens there. The Jets really making a statement, cutting Xavier Gipson after that fourth quarter very costly fumble. Quinshaw Judkins is meeting with the NFL on Wednesday as part of the investigation under the personal conduct policy. And then we have a handful of injuries to talk about for the Atlanta Falcons in Darnell Mooney, Drake London. They will practice Wednesday after both of those guys were dealing with some injuries. All right, and we have our NFL analysts here joining us on HQ, and Charles Davis and Pete Prisco here on set. We're going to discuss some of these headlines that are coming down, starting, of course, with America's team. Gentlemen, they're always making headlines, right? And when we're watching that Eagles game, it seems like, yeah, they could use some help when it comes to the pass rush. But Pete, if they move forward with Jadeveon Clowney, how much does this move the needle for them based off of their defense as a whole, what you saw in week 1?
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it's good to have a rotation guy.
Yeah.
He's a good, tough, physical football player. He's never been a great pass rusher, and they lack pass rush. I mean, you saw they've used draft assets on that. Nealon actually did some good things in the game, as Araku did not, and so that's a concern for them. I understand why they're out there looking, but I don't think Clowney is going to be a guy that changes the way you rush the passer. He might give you a couple sacks, but he's not going to get you 10 to 12 or 13. That's just not who he is.
Pete, I co-sign. He plays the run really well. And I think part of the problem is his gifts are so splendiferous, and we remember those coming out of college, that we're still hooked into the idea that this guy can be a dominant superstar player off the edge. He's never gotten to 10 sacks in a single season. He has gone to Pro Bowls, does play the game the right way, smart, tough, physical at the line of scrimmage on the edge. But I agree with Pete totally. He's not going to move the needle a lot in terms of pass rush. Nealon is an effort guy, and he's going to get there. As Araku, they drafted to be a double-digit sack guy. He'll have to grow up fast to supplement Sam Williams and Dante Fowler.
Five and a half, sacks last season with Carolina, and the Cowboys are in action against the Giants. We're going to talk more about that matchup a little bit later in the show. Some more news coming down from the Jets because they cut Xavier Gipson after he had a very costly fourth quarter fumble in that loss to Pittsburgh in week 1. Charles, what kind of message is being sent there from Aaron Glenn in this new era, if that's the immediate impact that we're seeing, like 2 days later?
It's an easy message for Aaron Glenn to send as the new guy in charge. Not easy for Xavier Gipson, but very easy for Aaron Glenn because Xavier Gipson is a kick return guy. You'll find other guys who can catch the ball, return kicks, all those other things. If this is a frontline guy, I'm not sure this move is being made for Aaron Glenn, but it's a way to announce to the team one more time, hey, new person in charge here. And Pete, as you well know, there's a long tradition of the NFL of guys when it doesn't go right, if you want to send a message. We go back to Bobby Lane, quarterback in Detroit. If a guy messed up or missed a block, Bobby might grab him by the scruff of the neck and haul him over to Buddy Parker, his coach, and say, I want him out. Remember Jerry Jones cutting Swervin' Curvin' Richards after a fumble late in the season to get a complacent Cowboys team locked in for the playoffs. We can go on and on and on, and I'll just finish with this. Remember that outside linebacker that fell asleep in Jimmy Johnson's meeting, Pete? The third string guy that Jimmy cut on the spot? And then they said, what would you have done if it had been Troy or Emmett or Michael? Jimmy said, I would have woken them up. What's your next question?
It's the old adage, and he's so right, Charles is so right, the old adage that we treat every player the same. We're consistent with how we treat them. No, you're not. No, you're not. None of them are. And so, and the point being, if this was Breece Hall who fumbled, they're not getting rid of him.
Yeah.
So you can't just sit there and say, oh, they're all treated the same. But Gipson barely made the team. I mean, there was some thought that he would get cut. You're a kick returner. You fumble the kick. It makes sense. Use him and send a message. And that's what Aaron Glenn did. But they're not all treated the same. Stars are treated one way. The grunts are treated another way. Let's be real.
All right, let's go to the Packers. And they're making some waves here, signing Christian Watson to a one-year, $13.25 million extension. He's still trying to work his way back from that ACL injury that he suffered in Week 18 of last season. Pete, what do you make of this move here, keeping him in Green Bay until 2026?
Well, here's what it does. It doesn't force him to put a lot of pressure on this season to go out and perform to try and get a contract.
Yeah.
And so I think from that standpoint, the Packers are being proactive here. I think his agent is being proactive here. I will tell you this. When I was there, they were raving about where he was. In fact, early in the process, after he tore the ACL, a lot of guys didn't think they go, you couldn't possibly have torn the ACL, the way he was moving around and walking. The day I was there, after practice, he was out on the field running sprints. And so he's not that far off from being back. And when he's back, he's such a big part of what they do because he's the deep threat down the field. So I love this move by the Packers. I love the move by his agent. It takes all the pressure off of him to get back out there and perform, so it makes sense.
Yeah, and a quick follow to that, because Brian Gutekunst, the general manager, we all know the big deal that happened, of course, with the guy who wears number 1, Curly Lambeau's number, that they got from Dallas, some guy named Parsons. That was different than what we've seen from Green Bay over the years, right? You go back Ron Wolf, you go to Ted Thompson, Brian Gutekunst, build through the draft, you develop, you keep your guys home. The Packers have announced they're going for it, but this move here also announces that we still like our guys that we've helped draft and develop, and we see futures for them, and it keeps that great receiving core that Pete talked about intact moving forward with a young quarterback named Jordan Love. I love the move.
All right, and we're going to get into likes and dislikes, all right, for week 1. We saw a lot to like, certainly, in the NFL. Like, are we seeing vintage Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. That was a lot to like there in Pittsburgh. J.J. McCarthy kind of silencing a lot of the people that had a lot of questions about him. So, Charles, you're going to rattle off things that caught your attention that you liked in week 1.
Okay, I'll just start with number 1, the game where I was with my crew. The Colts and Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones would dominate the headline, but the Colts as a whole liked what they did because they are in a serious year about trying to get themselves back in the playoff contention, haven't been in the playoffs since 2020. Beautiful move by them. Really nice first day. I love the Rams' grit over the Texans. The Texans, I believe, are the best team in the AFC South. They've won a playoff game the last 2 years, but they've got to take that next step to beat people in front of them that are really good. And all we heard about was the Rams were vulnerable and you know, Matthew Stafford didn't practice in preseason. They gritted it out. The Rams don't go away. And speaking of not going away, you mentioned it, Jacqueline, J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings as a whole hanging in there when it looked like they were getting worked by Chicago on Monday night. McCarthy catches fire in the second half, but the defense hung in there, made plays down the stretch. A true team victory. And how about Kevin O'Connell is one of the best coaches in the league, all the way up to, yeah, bring that kick out because we're going to use the clock. He knows what he's doing. And quick bonus, Cincinnati won on opening day. Hip, hip, hooray. And Tampa Bay, they're letting everybody know, if you want the South, Atlanta, you still have to come through us.
All right.
Couple things. You took a shot at me on J.J. McCarthy because that was directed at me. Yes.
No, it wasn't.
It's okay.
No, it wasn't.
That's okay.
Are you not a J.J. McCarthy guy? No, I didn't know that. I really wasn't taking a shot, I promise.
I mean, I didn't like him as many others did, but look, kudos to him for what he did the other day.
I really wasn't taking a shot at you.
But that's okay if you were.
No, I wasn't. Maybe I'll play it off like I was, but I really wasn't.
And the other thing here's the thing, Kevin O'Connell's getting high praise for what he did on that kickoff. Why don't you just tell him before he goes out there, if the kickoff goes 5 yards deep into the end zone, you got to run it out anyways.
Pete, have you met these players?
Yeah, many of them, yes.
Kevin probably told him and said, I better reinforce just in case.
But I mean, he's looking over like a...
Staring at him on the sideline.
Yeah.
The kid was looking, do I? Don't I? Do I? Don't I? Attaboy, Kevin.
All right, so we got the likes out of the way, right? Now we're going to get to the dislikes. And Pete, something that not only you, but a lot of folks are just not vibing with in week 1 is the kickers, man. What's going on?
It drives me. These guys can bang home field goals from 60 yards. Like we saw
like it's nothing.
Boswell do. We've seen many others do it. And yet, in key moments, they can miss extra points and miss major kicks. And we saw that. Jake Moody got cut. Jake Moody was a third-round pick. and he
And you
missed
called that before it happened,
On Sunday night, we cut him on our show. So, yes, Rand Carthen cut him, by the way. I bring the information to Rand. Rand takes the information, and he makes the decision. And so Rand cut him on Sunday night, and they cut him on Tuesday. They got to get rid of him. They had to. When you don't have confidence in your kicker, but he wasn't the only one. Koo, make your field goal, go to overtime. It was all around the league. It's an epidemic, and you know how I love kickers. Just make your damn kicks. That's your only job. That's all you do all damn day is kick. Make your kicks. And then the Chiefs' defense was disappointing to me. You know, we talk about the offense. Worthy went down, but they still made plays on offense. But the defense had so many busts in the secondary, and they just didn't look like they were together back there. Losing Justin Reed in free agency, I think that showed up in that game. Jaden Hicks was back there. He didn't play as well, and there were a lot of busts in the secondary. And then my third one was the offensive line for the Chicago Bears. When you go pay all that money, you get Drew Dalton from Atlanta, you go get Jackson from the Rams, you get Tooney. You're supposed to be able to run the ball consistently and protect your quarterback. They did neither, and the interior was beat up. Drew Dalton was terrible in that system. I don't think he's a great fit. I think that could be a problem for them.
What do we say, man? It always comes back to the offensive line. We say it every single time. Charles P., we certainly appreciate it. Talking likes and dislikes for week 1 in the NFL, and now we're pushing it forward to week 2, a loaded slate on CBS with the Bills and the Jets in that 1 o'clock window. Then at 4:05 Eastern time, the Broncos and the Colts. The Colts being
the fact that the defense just continues to pursue to the ball. Every defense focuses on get as many hats to the ball carrier as possible, because if the guy in front of you, he misses the tackle or he falls down, you have to be there to make up for it. And the pursuit to the ball is not only how they're able to get him down, it's ultimately how they're able to take the ball away.
The Chiefs offense ready for their first possession. And remember now, all turnovers must be reviewed by replay. So this one is going to need a little closer look. At issue was the knee or any other body part except the hand down before the ball comes loose. And are the visuals convincing enough to overturn the call on the field? So that one overturned. They say the runner was down, and that will not be a fumble. And he's going to have a 49ers first down. They're able to convert on 3rd and short, picking up 4.
I like the element of surprise here, Mike. It seemed like everyone was so keyed elsewhere on the play that nobody even gave a thought to him potentially getting the run. Didn't take him long to see he was going to be able to clearly pick up that first down.
So they come to the line for first down and 10. Throwing from the gun is Purdy. Now a shot downfield for Samuel. And he's got another one. Deebo Samuel. Touchdown, 49ers. He has come alive after the break. His 3rd touchdown of the second half. And that is the hat trick. What a game. His 3rd touchdown reception of this one.
And nothing they've done to slow him down has worked, Mike. This defense, they're throwing multiple guys at him. They're playing man, they're playing zone. It doesn't matter. This guy is having his way, and he's having a day.
Extra point up and good from Moody. And the 49ers are back to within 7. It's 28-21. So, following that touchdown, Moody is back out to kick it off. Hardman now to return it. Now an opening past the 30. Good return here. Brings it up to the 33-yard line.
It's easy to make your quarterback look good when you can just get open as easily as he has in this game so far. I mean, he had the big first half, remember. But here in the second half, he just continues to add to these numbers here in the 3rd quarter.
They put Kelsey in motion. Here's Patrick. He'll throw it on first down. Open man downfield. It's Rice. And he's down inside the 40-yard line.
Defense. Automatic first down.
Here's Edwards-Helaire, and he'll get about 5. Off the play fake, here's Mahomes. That's over the middle and intercepted. That's the linebacker, Fred Warner.
You know, Mike, I like the mindset of this offensive coordinator. He's saying, listen, I'm not looking to preserve this lead. I'm looking to extend my lead. Now, that aggressive play calling in this case led to the turnover. Now your defense has to take the field. Can they bail you out and keep this lead unchanged prior to their next possession?
Brock Purdy and the NFC champs back out to begin this next drive. And we show you some of the highlights, and there have been plenty to choose from. 3 touchdown passes and some other big-time throws as well. Certainly dialed in and on top of his game right throughout this one. 1st and 10 now from the 36. They'll motion the tight end, Thomas. Purdy on 1st down. He gets this one to Samuel. It's complete.
This is one of those throws where you're hoping you do most of the damage after the catch, but give credit to the defense. Once that ball was caught, they were on him quickly, and there was nowhere for him to go after the catch.
Third down, Purdy. They'll be forced to just throw that one away. It's incomplete.
For the most part, he's been very accurate with the ball, and he's completing over 60% of his passes, but because they haven't been able to get any big explosive plays, continue to push the ball downfield, hasn't really translated on the scoreboard just yet.